Welcome to this hopefully non-copyright infringing edition of For Dummies, the Bolivian Revolution of 1952. The year is 1951, and this is Mamerto Uriolagottia. He's the outgoing president of Bolivia. And just to make it clear, he's the bad guy of our story. Then there's this guy. He's Victor Paz Estenssoro. He was a presidential candidate of the MNR party, the Movimiento Nacional Revolucionario. And he technically won the elections of 1951, but that didn't sit well with the bad guy. So Mamerto threw a temper tantrum and decided that Victor didn't actually win the election. If you need an example of what that looks like, let me remind you.
So what's the problem with the election? Voted for it, electoral college?
The white man.
The white man?
That's right, Chris. On Tuesday around 7:45, Gore was declared the winner of Florida. But then at 8:30, the white man voted and just wiped that all out.
Taking a cue from our good friend Bush, Mamerto decided that he had a way to rig the elections. But you know what they say about Bush.
I know a lot of folks joke about me. Well, people say I'm not the brightest bulb in the knife drawer.
Yeah, trust us. We know. Well, at least Mamerto had a plan. See, he created a junta, a committee of military generals and officials to look over the government while he decided who he was going to elect himself, pretty much, as the new president. He had a few people in mind. Two of the key component members of La Junta were Seleme and Milan, the general chief of the military and the chief of police. See, he had a plan for Seleme to become president. But what he didn't know was that he was actually a spy, along with Milan, for the MNR. And he planned to hand over the presidency to Estenssoro. Unfortunately, the bad guy found out and eliminated the MNR's access to weapons to complete the overthrow of the government. This brought a halt to the revolutionary action, until these women stepped in. When the Bolivian army came in to fight against the revolutionaries, these campesina women, grandmothers, daughters, wives, and mothers, marched straight up to those soldiers and told them, "You can't fight against your own kind. Fight with us." And just like that, they took guns right out of their arms and put them into the hands of the peasant fighters. The revolution was a success, and Victor finally became the rightful president of Bolivia. But this once seemingly cool guy turned out to be not a cool guy at all. He was in cahoots with guess who?
Who are you? Wherever there is injustice, you will find us. Wherever there is suffering, we'll be there.
That's right, the United States of America. They were major culprits of the suffering and oppression in Bolivia at the time, which is why Bolivia had a need for these ladies. Oh God, no, not those. These are the real housewives of Siglo XX. The women who formed a political action group to fight against the injustices towards not only themselves, but their husbands who were minors. Most of the initial resistance and violence actually came at the hands of their husbands, which made them out to be a little bit more like these ladies. This superstar is Domitila Chungara.
Superstar! Superstar! Superstar!
In a radical act of protest in 1977, she led a hunger strike, which was extremely successful. But if you were to ask certain people, you could attribute it to
America! Fuck yeah! Come out again to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America! Fuck yeah!
the U.S. stepped in because they want to exploit people, but not make it seem like they're exploiting people. And they also had their own interests to look after. So they really pushed for the Bolivian government to give way to this political action. But this wasn't enough. After the deception of the MNR and the empty promises, the people really wanted a change. They wanted someone like them to be in office. Introducing Evo Morales, the first indigenous Bolivian president. With the political backing of the housewives, the campesinos, and the miners, Evo Morales became president without the use of violence. He also had a message for the United States of America.
I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no-good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going.
1, 2, 10!
All right. It wasn't quite like that. But after 50 years in the making, the revolution of 1952 in Bolivia was finally a success.